that is out for some months right now. Soon, the European audience will get to be introduced to it. As it is your first EP, could you maybe like introduce the concept of the band for people that are looking into you, knowing that they will see you on the road?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so it's like the whole idea is it's meant to be like, say, a movie or a story, a book or something like that. We we kind of run off this folklore that we've written, um, and then everything is written to this folklore. So even our set list runs to this folklore. The EP was the first part of the folklore. So the EP the EP is us as people meeting and getting together and navigating our way through this world that's kind of destructed. It's it's the end of the world kind of thing. So many people have lived, but like more people have died than have lived. Uh, so the EP is the kind of prelude to us becoming a band. It's us still as just normal humans, just tattered clothes and that kind of stuff. And our album that we will be looking at is us turning into the characters we are now. So that's kind of the story behind the EP.
All right. So, how did you go into the recording studio with that all in mind? I don't know if you guys knew each other already or.
We did, yeah, yeah. So myself did a lot of the writing, and I actually come from a different background musically than metal. So I've done a lot of blues, punk, and rockabilly bands. I've done country, I've done swing, uh, and and through this, I've always wanted to do a metal band, and I wanted it to be quite extreme, and that's kind of what we did. So I kind of gathered all the musicians that I wanted. Um, a lot of the guys have toured with other big acts as well, and um, so the musicianship's fairly prominent. And then we own our own recording studio, so all of our prep stuff is done there. And the way we kind of write, I write a lot of the stuff, then I send everyone the parts, and they polish the parts themselves, and then get back to me with what they want to change in those parts. And then we head into our own recording studio and record all the tracks. One of our one of our members is a mixing mastering engineer as well, so we're pretty self. Um, we can do it all ourselves, you know.
Oh, that's pretty good to hear. Let's look a
Yeah,
little bit at the songs of the EP so people get to know a little bit about what is behind those tracks.
yeah,
You have the opener. For me, it sounded like quite in your face right away from the start.
yep.
Where does the track come from?
Survive the blast. Okay, so that's story wise. That's this thing has happened that we don't actually know at this stage of the story, the folklore, what's actually happened, but we think it's a big blast that's killed a load of people. Um, we're not actually telling people what happened yet in the folklore, but that will come out as albums come out. Um, so we really wanted that to open and hit really hard. So to kind of portray exactly like what had happened in our folklore. So that's kind of the first track, and its premise is just us navigating this thing that we don't actually know what's happened, but we know it's really bad and we know it's killing a load of people.
All right.
Yeah,
If you look at the barricades, you come quite darker straight after that. Makes sense, I think, if
yep,
you follow that story now. What brought you to that
yep.
one?
Okay, so at the barricades is so they start the military basically start funneling people through this gate. So the in our area, there's this gate that they keep funneling people through, and that's kind of the story. They're killing off people that they either don't think can make it, or they don't like the look of. Any of these kind of things, the military are killing off these people, and the name of the game is to get through these barricades, and that's the whole kind of story behind that song. So it's just getting through that, literally this gate that we've got to try and get through.
Right. Into the Abyss starts pretty calm and then goes into the rage. What inspired you to do that one?
Okay, so next part of the folklore, I guess. So we kind of go into this area. Once you get through the gates, you're on your own. You kind of think that there's going to be some support because the military have been there and they're guiding you. And once you get through these gates, there's nothing. There's nothing for you. You are just in this massive cage that they give you no guidance, no food, no water. So you're in the abyss. You're into this kind of this place that we don't know what to do. Nobody knows what to do. So obviously people start killing each other and killing, this kind of stuff. So it's quite dark. And then, it obviously picks up and we realize we really have to fight for our lives in this story.
Okay. Then Land of the Damned, which is the closer for the EP. Can you tell me a little bit about that one?
Yeah. So Land of the Damned, we kind of realize, actually a little fact for Land of the Damned. It was the first opener song for the album. So the album we started recording before the EP. So the album's still happening now. We're recording, we're touring in between and all that kind of stuff. But the Land of the Damned was the opener for the album. But we kind of, the story it wasn't quite into the guts of the story enough for us to just have the 3 tracks, and it kind of it would have left you on just not knowing what the hell's going on. So we decided to pull Land of the Damned from first track from the album to last track of the EP. And so what Land of the Damned is we've kind of realized now that there's this big fight and there's people are kind of struggling and they don't know what to do. And then Land of the Damned goes into, we actually know. Can I swear on this at all?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. We kind of know we're fucked by this stage. By Land of the Damned, we know as a group we're fucked if we do not get our shit together, basically. So Land of the Damned is literally, it's in the name. We're damned. We most people are gonna die. We know this. So that track was written to be an opener, so it's quite kind of in your face and big chorus and that kind of thing, ready for an opener. But I snuck a track into the album that I wrote to replace Land of the Damned. So we have that kind of cool opening track for the album coming up as well.
Oh, good to hear.
Yeah.
I saw you also released a music video for Land of the Damned. Did you write the concept for it as well?
We did. We wrote the concept. We also filmed and edited that ourselves. With our recording studio, we have video capability too. So we filmed. We operated the drones. We did all the makeup, and then all the editing as well. So and wrote the storyboard for it. The actors in that were just mates. So we just got some mates in and, so we did it all on quite a budget. But, we were really happy with the way that came out.
Yeah, good to see it. I think How important is it for you to bring this music video to bring a bit of the concept? Because a lot of people probably don't know it, especially since you're going across the world where people may have not been too familiar with the folklore you're talking about.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, so the film clip was like we were adamant that we had to have that. Um and Land of the Damned uh we think was the best one to do it for the story because we've kind of it's that in between of not knowing what's happening in the folklore to now we know what's happening. It's there. It's certain. We know exactly what's happening. So that was the pick of the bunch for that reason. So and then storyline wise as well, it was pretty easy to write a short kind of film for that as well because it's quite involved and that kind of it was the perfect song to do it.
Makes sense. Um,
Yeah.
Now the tour is coming up. Why did you choose to go like across the world already so early in your band career, basically?
Look, we got an offer to do this, which we were not expecting. So the whole idea of the band was to get it overseas eventually,
Hmm.
as most bands do, I guess. But we actually got an offer, and we couldn't really refuse this offer. So we sat down as a collective and just said, look, this is probably too early in the scheme of the way most bands work. But we sat down and said, look, what do we do? Do we wait for another opportunity and wait till we're 2 years in, or do we just grab it and go with it? And we decided that that's what we wanted to do.
Sounds cool.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
are your expectations for the tour then?
Look, a good time. At the moment, it would be lovely to have a record company come to us or get offered on another tour. And that's ultimately what you do these things for. But we are very young as a band, very seasoned musicians. So there's that. We all have had. I myself have had record contracts before and all that kind of stuff before, and toured around the world before as well. But for this band, it is quite new. So we'll kind of we'll see what comes of it, but it's going to be such an experience. The bands we're playing with are great. Infected Rain are great. Um, so it's just going to be the experience of a lifetime for us. And then, as I say, if something comes from it, we're more than happy.
All right. What are people going to expect from you on the roads? I mean, I've checked the EP is like 23 minutes. I don't know how long your set's going to be, but
Yeah, we've only got a 30-minute set, so we've got um, the EP plus two songs, I think it is, takes us right on to 30 minutes. Um, yeah, so it is a bit of a shame only paying for 30 minutes, but it is what it is when you're at our stage. You get what you can get, and we kind of go with it. So show-wise, the good thing about 30 minutes is you put your all into it. So we are a very energetic band. The storyline and the way we look on stage, we're wearing kind of all the whole gear. We do that every night. There's never, even for interviews, we do that. I ran out of time for face paint. That's why I keep pulling this thing up. I found a balaclava. I was like, look, that's going to have to do because I've run out of time. We're actually mid rehearsal at the moment. So,
oh, all right.
and usually we've got the full face paint under the corpse paint. Hands are painted up usually. So we do that every night. So we'll bring our A game over to Europe and just hope that people love us.
All right. So have you been performing much locally before, or?
Yeah, we perform quite a bit. We did our first national tour this year. for Australia. So we did every major city. Then we've done a couple of festival runs. We're planning. We've got another big Australian tour next year. This year now. It's 2025. A little bit later on this year. So I'm planning that as we're kind of getting this tour ready as well. So there's lots on the horizon. This year should be a good one for us. We'd like to get back to Europe later that year, but I reckon 2026 is more the way it would happen.
Yeah, makes sense. All
Yeah.
right. Do you have any recommendations for your listeners?
As in recommendations to check us out or
Or
anything? Yeah, look, I think go and check out the film clip because you get the audio and the visual. We put a whole lot of effort into that. Our next film clip will have the same kind of effort, and it's we were actually going to get the next film clip for this tour, but there's so much that goes into tours like this that there just wasn't the actual time to do it. So go check out the film clip and then travel from there. You know, we have a website, we have merch you can buy, that kind of stuff. Then do a bit of a deep dive, and you can connect with us online, and we will answer that kind of stuff. So
all right.
check that out.
Amazing. Thank you very much. That concludes my questions. Thank you very much for your time, and hopefully we'll see.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks heaps for having me, and I thank you for your time as well.